funnel. So this is really now a good 10 miles north of Columbus, and then here's Crestline up 69, then Weir, here's Scammon right there. So it is about 3 or 4 miles southeast of Scammon, and this is going to track very close to Weir as it continues to move off toward the north and to the east. Again, even though we don't have any tornadoes on the ground with it, it can still drop one. So this will track just to the south of Weir and then eventually across 69 Highway, probably due east of Weir here in about the next 5 to 10 minutes as it continues to race north and east. Let me go ahead and zoom out. We'll get our kind of bearing straight on all these cells that continue to work through. Anything new?
And just a quick update for you, Doug. We could stay with Doug on there if you want to. Just a quick mention here. The update on that tornado warning still radar indicated, but golf ball size hail possible moving northeast at 35. And they're also watching the storm right along the Crawford-Bourbon County line. Yeah. That's trying to rotate as well.
Okay, so that one is strengthening. We'll go into that one, take a look at that guy. We got so many of these storms that are popping up, but you can see a little rotation.
That new scan there.
So starting to get going. So this is right along Crawford-Bourbon County line. This is going to track off toward the north and to the east at about 35. So this is in line for Fort Scott here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So we got that cell. Let's go a little farther off toward the east. So now we're looking south in Nevada, just to the east of probably Sheldon, Drywood. Also, probably some mid-level rotation in it, even though it's not warranting a tornado warning. Let's go ahead. We're going to zoom back out. We're going to go south and look at our other two cells, one across Cherokee County.
And they're getting ready to pull a tornado warning for that storm southwest of Fort Scott.
Okay, so we are going to get a tornado warning on this guy. So southern parts of Bourbon County, we are going to go into a tornado warning. Let me glance in at Cherokee County, just because here at the station we got people in the storm shelter, so I want to let them know.
All non-essential personnel to keep us on the air, they are in shelter. Yeah. They're in their safe place.
Okay, so we are about right here, so we need to wait a little bit longer. I think it's going to pass north of the station here. Okay, so still pretty strong rotation. We haven't had anything on the ground with this. This is central parts of Cherokee County. This is eventually going to lift southern parts of Barton, probably clip northern parts of Jasper County. We're going to zoom out a little bit. We're going to drop into Oklahoma, take a look at the next cell, which is also has been producing at least brief tornadoes and still a very strong signature. This is now southeast of Welch. So here's the Ottawa-Craig County line. So this is going to clip into northwestern parts of Ottawa County, and that's why the tornado warning is now out for northern parts of Ottawa County. The sirens may be going even in Miami and Commerce, even though you're on the edge of it. The main rotation should stay just northwest of Miami and also Commerce, and then eventually lift into southern parts of Cherokee County again, where obviously we've been dealing with this storm that still has pretty tight rotation. It is now just to the south of Weir. Let's go ahead and track north. I know you're going to say something about this, Nick. Right now, so this is. My eyes are too bad. What highway is that?
That is Missouri, Kansas Highway 3. That rotation is about to work over Hepler.
Hepler, okay. And this is moving east, northeast, so Fort Scott and then 69 Highway. Do they have anything,
nope,
any low-rings with it?
No, it's radar indicated for now.
Okay.
Golf ball size hail. But in that polygon from Hepler to Pawnee to Cato to Godfrey, just north of Girard, Farlington, up to Fort Scott, all of you may not get a possible tornado with this, but you're in that polygon. We want you to be in a safe place. And I'm going to go ahead and just say out there for now in general, I don't think we should advise anybody to be on 69 between, let's just go Crestline all the way up to Fort Scott. Nobody should be, because we have two cells trying to cross over 69, and both of them tornado warned. But for now, Doug, that latest warning at 7:45, that is just radar indicated, but the structure on that just looks like it just looks nasty.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to crank up as it works through southern parts of Bourbon County, northern parts of Crawford County. So Fort Scott, just south of Fort Scott along 69, you need to go ahead and take shelter, as this can drop a tornado at any time. I want to track a little bit farther south, and this cell now in Cherokee County is south along 69, south of Pittsburgh. We're going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit tighter on it. You can see a new severe thunderstorm warning is popping up for Cherokee County or Crawford County. So we just have warnings really kind of all over the place. Let me go ahead and zoom in. I saw the latest?
That is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail.
Okay, for that warning. All right, let's go back here. You can see our rotation here. So we're just south of Weir. So Lawton Road's about right here. So really, this guy's just crossing just north of the station. Scammon, it's east of Scammon now, so it's mainly Weir, and it's going to cross 69 Highway here very quickly. Still has a pretty good signature. We haven't seen anything drop with it, which is good news, but doesn't mean that as it continues to cycle, as we work through next 10, 15 minutes, it can't drop something. Let's drop it south again. We're just going to have to kind of rotate from storm to storm to storm as we work through this event. Let's go back down into, this is going to be northeastern parts of Craig County, northwestern parts of Ottawa County. This signature, it seems to have, it still has a signature, but it seems to have kind of weakened just a bit. What do you got, Nick?
On that mesocyclone in there, Doug, it's tracking near just southeast of Wells, but they're saying it's trying to tighten up again. So it could try to spin something up once again, which you said over the years that you've been here, well, like 16 years. Anytime a storm could drop a tornado, it can always drop another one. We had one on the ground, and it may be trying to cycle again.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got the three main cells that have the tornado potential right now. This is northeastern parts of Craig County, northwestern parts of Ottawa County. I think we're good in the shelter here. Yep, you can let them out. This is going to track just north of the station, so we can let them out. Second cell, let's go north. We're going to go, this cell now is just to the east of Weir, and the rotation, still decent rotation, but is tracking northeastern parts of Cherokee County and is passing on the south side of Pittsburgh. Let's go a little bit farther north. This guy's been tightening up just north of Hepler, and then also just to the southwest at Fort Scott. That's why this tornado warning is warranted, southern parts of Bourbon County. I see Nick's putting a storm track. Go ahead and pop up Max 2. Or
yeah,
Nick,
let's just get Max 2 up in front of Doug, and we'll just walk through what we're seeing here. I just put a storm track just for the whole storm in general. So from Pawnee to Fort Scott, Godfrey, Eve, Deerfield, Ellis, you may not exactly see the tornado, just the whole storm in general. But if this storm holds together, Deerfield, Ellis, Dean Ford, Nevada, that could be a problem for you. So just, you're not under a tornado warning now in Vernon County, but really perk up. Make sure you really pay attention as the storm continues on, Doug.
All right, so we're looking at Bourbon County. There's circulation right in here. And where you see these kind of magenta, almost purple colors, that is extreme heavy rain and also our extreme hail core. I guarantee there's golf ball size hail just to the west of Pawnee with this cell. Let's go back south. Severe thunderstorm warning. This is Crawford County, also eastern parts of Neosho County. Let me look out into Neosho County. We got more cells which are developing. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warnings, Neosho County, and then Lebec County, and we're going to drop south again. This is northeastern parts of Cherokee County, a much weaker rotation. Still needs to be warranted in northeastern parts of Crawford County. So this is now well north of Crestline. This rotation is passing on 69 just to the east of Weir, right across 69 Highway. Let's go ahead and drop south. I'm going to go into our other tornado warning that we have had. And I think this storm is kind of cycled, and it's probably going to try to produce again now south of Welch, because the actual tornado warning is now about here, but now it's going to try to get going back south of Welch. So we see this a lot. We get these supercells, they'll produce a tornado, they kind of peak out, they die, and then the whole storm will kind of recycle and say, let's do it again. So that's most likely what is going on across Craig County. Very heavy amounts of rain stretch into parts of northern Ottawa County. What do you got on the chat, Nick? Anything new?
I'm just keeping an eye on warnings that continue to show up right now, Doug. In fact, the warning that's popping up behind me on Max 2, that's the Weather Service already giving southern parts of Barton County, northern Jasper County a heads up in that storm that has a tornado warning. For now, they're just going with the severe thunderstorm warning. But they are saying 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are watching the rotation, and any golf ball size hail is going to be working into there right now.
Anything new on Bourbon County?
Still nothing out of Bourbon County right now.
So at least the rotation has weakened enough, that is in Cherokee County, that is now pushing northern parts of Jasper, southern parts of Barton, that it has weakened enough that it doesn't warrant a tornado warning, but still some mid-level rotation. So it's kind of on the beginning stages. They're just going to continue to watch it. We're going to watch this storm kind of try to recycle, which is down across Craig County, pushes in the northern parts of Ottawa County. This circulation, eastern Cherokee, has weakened enough, but is now pushing. You can see the severe thunderstorm warning, northern parts of Jasper County and then southern parts of Barton County. I want to go north. Looks like it's getting going near Nevada too. Let's go north into Bourbon County. You can see very strong hail core and also the very strong rotation, which is probably about 12, 13 miles due southwest of Fort Scott. Most likely will pass on 69 highway just south of Fort Scott. I can see Nick's got something new.
Well, just to be sure that we're not leaving anybody else out here, Doug, not that we're neglecting anybody by any means.
Warnings.
Yeah, we just have, look at all the severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from eastern Neosho County, working back down through central Labette and eastern parts of Montgomery County. Those are clusters of severe thunderstorms. No rotation with those, but they are all capable of producing ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know if you agree with me, Doug, but at least if those storms are clustered together, I don't think any of them will have a good ability to rotate, at least for now, at least low-level rotation. But mid-levels, it's out there to at least get some, I would believe, ping pong ball size hail down to the ground.
All right. Yeah, what I'll do here is I'm going to zoom out and we'll kind of get a look at the entire viewing area, and this will give us kind of an idea of what has developed over the past 30 minutes since we've kind of been on. And you can see these clusters of storms working through. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings. These are more individual supercells just to the south of Ponca City, but the air mass is unstable enough that any of these guys can produce warnings. I mean, look at all the warnings from Cedar, Vernon, Barton, Jasper, Ottawa, Craig, Nowata, Montgomery, Labette, Cherokee, Crawford, Neosho, Bourbon County. So we just have tremendous amounts of severe thunderstorm warnings, and then obviously still tornado warnings. Do you have anything new, or have you seen anything new on this Craig County? I see even another tornado warning just east of Tulsa again.
Yeah, they're all trying to. Not seeing anything new, but as that storm goes out of northeast Oklahoma, that's coming closer to, let's say where, what am I thinking here? Wichita and Springfield, their offices come together. I know we got Springfield watching that storm. It just, I don't see anything confirmed on the ground at the moment, but again, we got more warnings popping up, including that newest one for southwestern Jasper, northwestern Newton, let's say from CJ, Joplin, Loma Linda, almost down to Seneca.
Yeah, as that cluster continues to expand, it's producing now additional warnings in parts of Newton and then also Jasper County as it continues to stretch northern parts of Ottawa County. So here's Miami, here's Commerce, Quapaw, Wyandotte. This storm is continuing to rotate through. But still, we have some rotation, mid-level rotation, not a lot to at least warrant anything huge with this, which is good news. And then we have all the warnings which continue to pop up now southwestern Missouri. So we're looking western Jasper, Newton County, northern Jasper, and then all the way up into Barton County. Let me go ahead and track a little farther north. We're going to go up to Pittsburgh. Still have this cell. Southern parts of Bourbon. I would say the southern Bourbon County cell is probably our most impressive right now as it continues to work just to the south of Fort Scott. But you can see all the cells just lighting up the radar screen. As of right now, we don't have anything on the ground, which is good. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings across the region, but and we still have the 2 tornado warnings, but at least we aren't getting anything on the ground. But we're watching them very closely as these storms continue to work through. But you can see the numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. This cluster, all these guys are pretty much moving northeast at about 30 to 35 to 40. You can see a new one popping up near Stockton Lake, or north of Stockton Lake. These are going to work into the Joplin Metro. These are working in toward Lamar, more developing near Nevada. This guy just south of Fort Scott, this big cluster all the way back. Also, another big problem with all these is the rain. We have so much flooding across the region. We have 5 to 10 inches just a day and a half ago. So this is going to get those creeks, rivers, streams really roaring up again. And we're going to also get very quick flash flooding because the ground is extremely saturated. So any bit of rain that we get, it immediately is going to give us some flash flooding. So I think that's going to be a big issue as we work through the evening and the overnight hours as well. Anything new, Nick?
I'm just keeping an eye on that cell coming out of northeast Oklahoma. Still has that hook to it, but as I loop through time here, it's trying to go, it's going to work into southern Cherokee County. I would just, even though this area is not under a tornado warning right now, Doug, I would just say anybody along 166, let's say just north of Downstream Casino, all the way to Pitcher, Cardin, Trees, Keelville along 166. If you're not getting the heavy rain and hail, now you will within the next few minutes, but we need to keep an eye on southeastern Cherokee County because if that rotation holds together, I would not be surprised if a tornado warning goes out, and we'll need to keep a close eye for areas like, I hate to say this, but Baxter Springs and potentially close to Galena and Riverton too.
Yep. So that signature has been tightening up in just a little bit as it continues to lift out of really Craig County and also in the northern parts of Ottawa County. So we got to watch those. We got more cells which continue to pop up as we work toward Tulsa and then also out toward Ponca City. So these are just going to continue to light up over the next several hours. We're going to do a quick tour here again into some of these storms. And actually I hit the wrong button there. I'll go in here. And we'll do a quick little tour of these storms, and then hopefully if we can get at least no new tornado warnings, we can take a quick break here. But you can still see somewhat of a structure with this storm as it continues to lift northern parts of Ottawa County. So this northwestern parts of Ottawa County, northwest of Miami, as it's going to push into southern parts of Cherokee County. I'm going to zoom in over there as well. Very intense cell from Baxter, about ready to move into Galena and also Riverton, and then eventually into the Joplin metro. Let's go ahead and we're going to pan a little bit farther north. Actually, I'll zoom out a bit first, and then we'll go a little bit farther north, and then we'll check out the Bourbon County cell. So let's go into, I think this tornado warning is done, even though it's still popping up. You can still see a very intense cell southeast of Pittsburgh, and then now southwestern parts of Barton County, northern parts of Jasper County. We have all of these tornado or severe thunderstorm warnings, which are just to the west of Pittsburgh, and then we still have our cell, which is in southern parts of Bourbon County. Let's see if I can get up here. You can see this cell. I'm going to zoom in on this guy just a little bit. We're going to see what he's doing. So let's go in here.
If anything on my end, thankfully, I haven't seen anything new out of that.
Okay, so we're still getting the rotation. We aren't getting anything new, so it doesn't look like anything's on the ground. I bet we're getting just tremendous hail out of this guy. You can see that little pinkish core here. I bet we're at least getting golf ball size hail and winds at 60 to 65. Still go ahead and take shelter if you live in southern parts of Bourbon County as this storm continues to cycle through, and we'll watch it and see if we get any more tornado warnings. But again, right now it's just scattered storms everywhere. We're going to continue with this tornado threat, at least a decent threat over the next 2 to 3 to 4 hours, and then it will start to go down just a little bit. Nick and I are going to continue to watch these. We're going to kind of regroup here, and then we'll break back in as necessary. For now, we'll throw it back to programming.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a severe weather alert.
All right, going to continue to update you on our severe weather, which is rolling through. We've had now numerous tornado warnings with these cells that continue to track from southwest to northeast. All the counties highlighted in yellow, which is well over half of us, are under severe thunderstorm warnings. In the red, these are all tornado warnings. You can see one east of Tulsa, still northern Ottawa. Cherokee County's had already 2 tornado warnings. This guy now, southern Bourbon, also northern parts of Crawford County. So we're going to take kind of a tour of all these storms. Look how they've just exploded over the past several hours and continue to regenerate near Tulsa. So as some storms work out, then you can see how they continue to move back in. And these are all supercells, so that's why we have that potential for tornadic activity. Let's go into this guy. You can see the rotation. He is just north of Miami, but tightening rotation right along the state line of Kansas and also Oklahoma, and the county lines of Ottawa and Cherokee County. So the sirens are going in Baxter, most likely probably soon, Riverton and Galena, as well as this continues to track off toward the north and to the east. But you can see a very tight rotation. Let's go ahead and we're going to look into this cell as it's moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So I'm going to pull out velocity here. These are kind of our storm winds. You see right where my fingertip is, you can see the green and the red very tightly kind of banking up. This is about 7-8 miles north of Miami. Switch it over to CC, which kind of tells us if one's on the ground. We don't see anything on the ground here, so that is good, but it does mean that it can drop one at any time. So this is going to continue to track through southern parts of Cherokee County. It's been kind of working at this angle, so Baxter, Galena, Riverton, this is right on your back doorstep, and heading in the west side of the Joplin Metro, which is Baxter, Riverton, and Galena, you probably have about 10 minutes before it works in. And we still have the other storms out across parts of Bourbon County. I'm going to track up north. We're going to look at Bourbon County, and then we're going to throw over to Nick here, and he's going to give us any updates he's seeing. Nick is looking at all the storm chaser reports, National Weather Service, anything like that. You can see very tight rotation just south of Fort Scott. Let's go into this guy here. So here's our other tornado warning. So this is southern parts of Bourbon County. Very tight hail core here. Godfrey, which is just south of Fort Scott, but this is a tight rotation. So we got to watch this. I'm going to pull out the velocity product on this and see how the winds are kind of circulating within this storm. And we'll be able to see where the green and the red meet up. So this is right along 69 Highway, just east of 69 Highway, as this storm continues to work through. That to me, I'm going to throw to Nick now. Looks interesting.
Yeah, that certainly does. Not seeing anything confirmed yet, but in the meantime, I'm not going to go back to you yet, but I want to at least send that note to Springfield, we're noticing interesting CC return there. But behind me, just got word that report of a tornado now just outside of Commerce. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if this continues north and east, and you see that latest scan there, it's going to be crossing over where 69 runs into Cherokee County, so where old Treese Pitcher Garden used to be, areas along there need to be in their safe place now. And if this continues, it's going to cross over 166 between Melrose, and it may be coming close to Baxter Springs, and then beyond there, Spring Valley, Galena, and the latest track that I sent to Facebook and Twitter, Doug, so if it continues on that track, it may clip the far northwestern sides of Joplin near Airport Drive and maybe the Joplin Regional Airport and maybe Carl Junction too. But last report, this is on the ground according to law enforcement. We're keeping a close eye on this one.
So we do have a tornado on the ground, which is right along the state line of Oklahoma, and then also the Kansas state line. I'm going to pull out one more time here. I want to look at this guy here, and I would say just east of 69. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy is very close to being on the ground as well. We're going to go ahead and we're going to zoom back out. We're going to track. You guys
as you do that, Doug, let's just stick with you at the wall. Confirmed large dangerous tornado near Commerce moving northeast at 30.
So we're going to go down here. Thank you, sir. So we're going to track south. So first off, if you live in Bourbon County, just south of Fort Scott, I wouldn't be surprised if that's on the ground just due to the products that we are seeing. Now we're going to track south. We're going to go all the way down. So now we have a dangerous large tornado on the ground. This is wrapping up just to the southwest of Baxter. Let me go ahead. We're going to get a tight view of it. So we're going to go in here, and I'll talk about who needs to take cover. Okay, so this is moving into Baxter Springs right now. Let's pull out the velocity. We'll get the exact track of where it is at, and we should be able to, actually I want a little wider look here.
I'm just going to tell you off screen here, Doug. I'm moving that camera southwest just to see if I can see anything from 7th and range line.
Okay, let me zoom out here just a bit. Okay, so Baxter Springs, you need to be in your shelter. This is on the ground. As of right now, the latest reports, we have definitely storm chasers that are on it, and it is moving northeast at about 35. You can see that tight little, the green and the red. So this is right on the county line, so just probably 4 or 5 miles to the west of Baxter. Go ahead and take shelter if you live in Riverton, Galena, Baxter Springs, as we do have a tornado that is on the ground moving into, there it is, there's our intense debris signature. So that means
on the ground.
When we see that little dot there, that means it's throwing debris up in the air. And the way our radar sweep here is pretty high, so that's probably 10, 12,000 feet. So that is sweeping very high, especially from the Tulsa radar. So this is on the ground. This is working in the southern parts of Cherokee County. Very dangerous situation. Whenever we have a tornado on the ground, it can definitely cause damage and also take life. So this isn't something that you want to play around with. Anything new on it?
No, I'm just keeping an eye on that. And I just wanted to give a heads up to everybody in general, like behind the scenes here in the newsroom. Unless this decides to take a hard turn north, this is going to be passing south of us. We'll get maybe some rain and hail, but the tornado should stay south of the station. So unless I see otherwise, Doug, or you see otherwise, we should be okay here.
All right, so we do have possibly a large tornado on the ground. This is right along the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma. It is just outside of Baxter Springs, just to the northwest of Quapaw, just to the north of Miami and Commerce, but most likely is doing damage at this time. This rotation is wrapping up, and we're looking at Baxter right here. So, I mean, this is just west of Baxter. Riverton, Galena, you need to go ahead and get in your shelter immediately, as this is all heading into a more populated area as it works into Baxter, Riverton, and Galena, and most likely will track on the northwest side of the Joplin metro as we work through the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we have this guy. We're going to go ahead and we're also going to look at our other tornado warning. Anything new,
It's just
Nick?
more further combination spotters at 166 and 69 saying that is a large tornado on the ground. And again, continuing north and east. We don't want anybody on 166 between Baxter and Keelville. We want everybody in Baxter to be in your safe place now. And we'll just go ahead and say Galena and Riverton too. It may not hit directly close to Galena and Riverton, but as long as you're in that polygon and this is on the ground, we don't want you to gamble with this. Safe place now if you haven't gone already. Doug.
All right, Nick. Yeah, let me know if you see anything new pop up.
I'm on it.
So we still have this large tornado on the ground. This southern parts of Cherokee County. We're going to go north.
New tornado warning there for Vernon.
As
you're
Vernon County. Okay,
heading
so we're going to look at this guy just southeast of Fort Scott. Let's go ahead into him. And we still have a very tight rotation. So this is another tornado warning. This is now just to the south and to the east of Fort Scott. So the main tornadic activity, say, just to the south of Fort Scott, which is good. We're going to pull out the velocity on this, take a look, see what he is looking like. Let me move this around, and you can still see where the greens and the reds are really lining up. We're going to pull out our wonderful CC as well, and definitely we got one on the ground there just to the south and to the east of Fort Scott. So this is right on the state line of Kansas and also Missouri. So it is pushing into western parts. We have this tornado on the ground. It's moving into western parts of Vernon County and is going to continue into western Vernon. It's definitely on the ground. Now we got two tornadoes, two possibly large tornadoes on the ground. We're going to zoom back out. We're going to go back into Cherokee County. Let me pan south. And you can see all the severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to go right back into this very tight rotation. This is right on top of Baxter now, at least the greatest part of the rotation. Let's take a zoom in. I'm going to go in here. So here's Baxter. And then we got Galena here. We got Riverton here. Let's switch over to velocity. See exactly where this is at. And we'll pull this out. And I'm getting some range fold there. We're going to go to our CC. I'm right in between those radars. See if you can get the latest CC on Max 2.
Sure. Oh, actually, yeah, I do have it on Max 2.
So let's switch over to Nick so we can see.
I'll pop that up in the scope here. It is
right.
Right there.
Okay.
That is heavy debris, still confirming a large tornado on the ground there, Doug.
All right, so that is very close to Baxter Springs. So Baxter, Galena, Riverton, you need to take shelter. This is a large tornado. This is a large tornado on the ground, so it is doing damage. And with the debris signature that we keep getting popping up, that is the radar actually picking up houses, trees, debris that tornado is throwing as it works through. Again, this is moving northeast at about 30, 35 miles per hour. So very strong debris signature, and you can see it right there. So it's just to the west of Baxter. Let's go back to our velocity, and you can see where the tightening is right there. So just west of Baxter Springs. You got anything new?
Emergency manager out of Cherokee County saying they are spotting debris in the air by Pitcher.
By Pitcher?
Pitcher, Oklahoma.
Okay, so yeah, so if we're getting debris now far out from this, this is a large dangerous, destructive tornado. So this is going to, this is not good. This is not a good situation with this system, this storm. Large tornado on the ground. You can see the very tight rotation. It looks like we're starting to get a little southern flank on here, so this may try to regenerate. Hopefully this is at peak strength, but very dangerous tornado on the ground. This is north of Miami, north of Commerce, right along the state line of Kansas and also Oklahoma near Baxter Springs, Riverton, Galena. Baxter, you need to be in your shelter. I know we got some storm chasers on it. I'm going to see if Nick has anything new.
They're reporting sheet metal falling from the sky, Southwest 30th and the state line.
Okay, so if we're getting sheet metal falling from the sky, we got a problem with this guy. So this is southeastern parts of Cherokee County, large, destructive, dangerous tornado on the ground. Baxter Springs, you've got to be in your shelter. Galena, you must be in your shelter. Riverton, you must be in your shelter as this continues to work east. These are the type of tornadoes that start wiping things clean. So this is a dangerous situation. We still also have the other tornado, which has been looked to be, last I checked, on the ground western parts of Vernon County. So we are going to go right up in here. Doesn't look quite as intense. Two cells are kind of trying to merge, but we're still getting this rotation. Here's Nevada, probably 7-8 miles back to the southwest. Pull up CC on that one, Nick, and see if if that rotation has kind of weakened a little bit.
All right, we'll keep it on yours, and I'll get the CC scope up on here. Let's say north of Harrison there.
Yeah, so still getting a debris signature here.
And you have Magic Track back.
Wow, okay, great, thanks. So most likely this guy's still on the ground. So this is heading toward Nevada. If you live in Nevada, you need to also go ahead and take shelter, as it looks like this is on the ground. When we get this little ball that pops up, that's showing that debris flying through the air. Still have our large, dangerous, destructive tornado, which is in southern parts of Cherokee County. We're going to go back down south and take a look at him. Clear that off. Let's go here and go back down into Cherokee County. You can still see that very tight rotation. Again, we have reports that we have debris flying within this cell, sheet metal falling from the sky. So this is definitely a very large destructive tornado right on top of Baxter, about ready to move into Galena and also Riverton. In Galena, in Riverton, you need to take shelter immediately, as this large tornado is now moving into the west side of the Joplin metro. We'll go ahead and I'm going to switch. Nick has a weird look on his face.
No, I'm just seeing now reports of double, if not several funnels with that tornado crossing over 166. So if there aren't multiple tornadoes, there could be like a multi-vortex tornado.
Okay, so yeah, if we're getting numerous, you know, vorticities with this, I mean, obviously we're seeing something kind of interesting, but you can see right in here. So this is right around Baxter Springs. Lucas, I just wanted to keep working the radar when Nick was talking, so that's why I had you send it back. But again, this is Riverton, Galena, Baxter Springs. This is southeastern parts of Cherokee County. The storm really wrapping up. You can see the hail core south of Columbus, and then which is going to roll just to the south of Old 96 that runs from Columbus over toward Carl Junction. But again, large, destructive tornado has been doing damage across northern parts of Ottawa County, now into southeastern parts of Cherokee County. I'm going to pull out. We're going to look at the velocity winds once again and see what we see in here. We're still getting kind of, not quite as strong. Let me pull out the CC. It's most likely, if we're seeing multiple tornadoes, we're seeing this trying to regenerate a little bit. So usually when we get multiple vorticities, because we have tons of storm chasers on this, usually that means the one big tornado says, all right, I'm about done, still produces some smaller ones. It kind of tries to regenerate. The structure of the cell doesn't look as strong by any means. Are you getting anything new on this? Because it doesn't look near as impressive as it did 2-3 minutes ago.
Just to be sure, you're talking about the Cherokee County storm?
Yeah.
Last I checked with CCs, I'm still showing tornado debris. In fact, I'm going to quickly just double check, and I'm still seeing it.
All right, so we're going to back out here just a bit. So we still have at least a large tornado on the ground with this cell as it continues to work into the west side of the Joplin Metro. Anything going on chat? There's got to be probably 100 storm chasers out here on this thing.
Let's see. Yeah, just what the reports that we've gone over already, like just multiple funnels, debris in the air, working over 166 over Cravensville and Treese. Also keeping an eye on trying to find this for Barton County. They said earlier a funnel cloud west of Highway M and 126. They have a county officer tracking the funnel and seeing reports saying per multiple reports, possible funnel 6 miles east-northeast of downstream. I'll have to double check that. And emergency manager of Barton County is already signing the sirens just based on that report of a funnel cloud, even though I haven't seen a tornado warning out for Barton County right now.
But I've seen numerous areas of rotation. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely trying to recycle here. So that's most likely why we have been getting, we went from one large tornado to multiple vorticities just due to this storm trying to recycle. So you can still see where the red and the green is meeting up. So, I mean, Baxter, you're still kind of under the gun here because the storm's trying to regenerate and throw out some more tornadoes as it continues to work for eastern parts of Cherokee County. But as we know, we have still tornado on the ground, possibly multiple tornadoes on the ground, or at least funnel clouds. And you can see really, here's downstream. So we got reports just northwest of downstream funnels, which is almost in Baxter. So Baxter, Riverton, Galena, all the way back. I would still say 69 Highway along the state line of Oklahoma and Kansas. So from really 69 Highway to about Galena is where anywhere in that stretch we can pick up a tornado at this time as it continues to roll through. I think Nick's got something new.
Yeah,
on this.
last on that southern Cherokee County, Doug, tornado on the ground, southwest 10th and Star Road.
Okay, where is 10th and Star Road?
That is a block south of 166 south of Cravensville.
Okay.
Right around Treese and just north of Pitcher and Carter.
Okay, so yeah, this storm did regenerate. So the large tornado that was on the ground, it kind of moved toward Baxter, then it went to multiple vorticities, and then what has happened now is back here, back across northern Oklahoma, just west of Baxter, it has recycled and is now producing new tornadoes. So the original one now, let's say if it was still on the ground, would be probably right over Galena and then working into Carl Junction and Joplin. But that recycled, now it's back in here, just to the west of Baxter, right along the state line of Oklahoma and also Kansas. So again, from Old Pitcher, Treese, just north of Quapaw, all the way to Baxter, that little stretch along 69 is where you need to watch it. You can see it really tightening up now, very close to Baxter Springs. So we still have a tornado warning with this, and most likely still a tornado on the ground. Am I in Magic Track?
Should be working. Is it working for you?
No. Oh, there we went. Okay, so we still have possibly a large tornado on the ground, which is right around Baxter Springs, just to the south of Baxter Springs. So again, yeah, you can see where right in here, see where this green and the red really meets up? This is on the west side of Baxter Springs. I guarantee that thing is on the ground right there. You need to go ahead and take shelter. Looking at the, yeah, you can see the debris right there. So it's just west of Baxter. That's where a tornado is. So another large tornado is trying to form as this continues to work through. It's right in this little notch. So I'm going to say 3-4 miles northwest of Baxter Springs now has regenerated a new tornado warning moving through Cherokee County. I don't want to forget about other people. So I'm going to zoom out. We're going to go take a look at Vernon County because we have had a tornado on the ground in western parts of Vernon County. I'm going to let Nick kind of get all of the new reports that are coming in with the Cherokee County cell as we zoom into this guy and take a look at what is going on with him. So we're going to go into a little bit tighter. Vernon County, still a very intense cell. Looks like the structure of this tornado warning is greatly decreased, which is good, but still very intense. Rain, hail across the region. We'll go ahead and pull out velocity on here and just kind of take a little tour around and see if I see anything highly suspicious. You can see, yeah, the winds, they're still kind of, it's probably most likely trying to regenerate just a little bit, but still enough to warrant a tornado warning very close to Nevada. At this time, you need to go ahead in Vernon County and take shelter as this storm could produce a tornado. It doesn't look near as impressive as it did the last kind of scan that we did on Vernon County, but again, still warranting a tornado warning. Nick, do you have anything new on Vernon County? Just before we go back to
Yeah, just the
Cherokee?
last confirmed report that I had from that Cherokee County storm. It was over 30th and Star, but as you pointed out, Doug, that rotation working over the northern sides of Baxter Spring. They're noting that the rotation in Barton County is really weakened. I don't see anything too impressive with that right now.
And then anything latest on Cherokee County before I drop back down there?
No.
Leave me up on here, Lucas.
Nothing new on my end, but just a quick reference. I'm watching that storm passing over the Tulsa radar site, just south of Craig County, west of Delaware County. That's another one we need to watch.
Okay, so we're going to go right back into Cherokee County, a very tight rotation. Still tornado on the ground, and we're going to talk a little bit now that we are getting this guy very close, so really in the west side of the Joplin Metro. We need to really look and see where he's going to go. You can still see that tight signature. Here's 69 Highway, so you hit that roundabout, which goes into 7th Street, into Galena. So you have Galena here, you have Riverton here, and then you have that little roundabout right in here. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So right along that roundabout, and then drop south. That is right where that rotation is in the tornado on the ground. That's what we have to watch. So this is now a pretty major concern for Riverton and also Galena as it continues to track north and east. We're going to pull out the storm winds on this. We'll take a little look around. We're still getting kind of the greens and the reds. I want to actually clear that off and see if I can get a little wider.
Yeah, they're still saying tornado observed on that.
Okay, so are they saying the exact streets? Oh,
no, last check, funnel confirmed northeast of Baxter, and emergency manager there emphasizing that it's going to Riverton and Galena.
Yeah, it's right on
Riverton and
right
Galena, safe place now if you're not already.
So Riverton, Galena, you need to take shelter. Got a lot of family in this area, so you guys need to take shelter. Riverton, Galena, as this push is in, this is a confirmed tornado that has been on the ground, most likely still is on the ground. Now, if we want to look a little farther out, where is this going to go after this point? Because we are on the west side of Joplin. So let's go ahead. We're going to zoom out just a little bit, and here's western parts of Jasper County. So as this tracks over Riverton, Galena, this is going to push into the west side of Joplin. 7th Street North, let's say Central Avenue, JJ, up toward Carl Junction. That is kind of what's in line next. Black Cat Road, those areas, west side of Joplin, that's where we're going to have to watch as this storm continues to push in. If it takes the continuous track that it is right now, it's most likely going to work just north of 7th Street. And then here's JJ, so kind of between 7th Street and Carl Junction. So that's the next area that we're going to have to watch as it continues to work east. Right now, still have the confirmed tornado, Galena, Riverton, very close to Riverton and working in. This is really the second one this storm has produced. It had one, moved in, large tornado on the ground near Baxter, just southwest of Baxter, and then it regenerated. Here's the regeneration of it, and it also has been producing a tornado warning as well. Continuing to work off toward the east at about 35 miles per hour. But again, the storm has been regenerating. We're going to zoom out and take a look at everything else going on because we got all kinds of storms that have been blowing up. In fact, let me back up here. You can see how they are now another cluster near Tulsa. I know Nick was talking about that. A tornado warning. So this is going to work into Delaware County, probably southern parts of Ottawa County. We've also got guys blowing up north of Oklahoma City, Ponca City. It's going to move into Bartlesville and eventually southeastern Kansas. So just a ton of action going on, and this is going to continue for the next several hours. Again, still we have our tornado warning, which is in southern parts of Cherokee County. There we go, and you can see that very tight rotation. Southeastern parts of Cherokee County. This is Riverton, this is Galena, this is on the ground. You need to take shelter, and it looks like it's going to move northwest side to Joplin, I'd say 7th Street, toward Carl Junction, kind of that stretch, that JJ stretch, and then where you hit the Fur Road area. So in that area, those are the next in line with the storm as it continues to work north and east, but it has been producing tornadoes. Anything new on it?
No, Doug, but if you don't mind, I want to take a camera 3 if we could, because I actually put this track up for everybody just to give a general timeline of not when you need to take shelter, but when that confirmed tornado is going to try working north and east. Galena, you have 8 minutes. Galena, be in your safe place right now. And even though there isn't a tornado warning out for southwestern Jasper, I guarantee you Springfield is at least thinking really hard about putting a tornado warning out for Jasper County. But as a heads up, around Smithfield, Carl Junction, I would even argue close to the Carl Junction Middle School, High School, Joplin Regional by 817. And if it tries to clip Webb City, or really close to Webb City, it could be near the high school by 820. So that's just a general heads up for everybody out ahead of that confirmed tornado, Doug.
Great information. Again, tornado warning. Tornado has been on the ground. This is right on top of Riverton and Galena. You need to be in your storm shelter if you have one, if you're in your basement, if you have one. If you don't, interior closet or bathroom away from windows. I always tell my son when he's at home alone, get in the bathtub and pull couch cushions on top of your head. I think that is the safest thing to do. So it's still confirmed tornado, eastern parts of Cherokee County. This is right on top of Riverton. This is right on top of Galena. See if you can, man, the tower cam is lighting up.
Do you want to go ahead and pop up in the control room, pop that up behind
pull
Doug?
up tower cam for me. You can see, so we're at, so you can see the intense lightning, but we are looking due west, so we are probably 10, 12 miles to the east of where this tornado is right now, but you can really see how the clouds are just lighting up. What do you got, Nick?
No, I'm just wondering, any particular way you want that looking? We are looking due west right now.
Let's tilt it a little bit farther north as it is going to start to track into the west side of Joplin. You can definitely see the very intense rain core, hail core that is going through, and very electric storm. All right, let's go back to the wall here, and we're still looking. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to zoom right back in for you. We're going to go right into the storm. Still very nice signature, so we are looking, we're going to go in even tighter here on this guy. So here's where our tornado is. So here's Riverton, so here's 7th Street, here's Galena. So this is just north of Riverton. What's the new warning? I see a new one popping. Is that going to go for?
They have gone ahead with throwing in Jasper and Newton County now. In fact, if you don't mind, Doug, let's just take camera 3 full. I'll have that new warning up behind me from Max 2.
Have you gotten anything new on visualization?
No, they are still saying observed located over Galena or near Baxter Springs, moving east at 25. Okay. So that could take it just north of 7th Street, but definitely everybody in Joplin now, you need to be in your safe place. All of southwestern Jasper County needs to be in their safe place right now, Doug. And I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that tower cam.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see the latest radar sweep. So this is now past Riverton. Here's Galena. It is right in here. I mean, we are talking 2 miles northwest of Galena, tornado on the ground as this continues to work east, northeast, at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So we're going to zoom out a little bit more. We're going to talk about where this is going to go. I do hope this may recycle a little bit, but still very strong rotation and tornado on the ground. So let's go east. We're going to look into Jasper County, Newton County. This, I pretty much think it's going to track right across the state line and right just north of 7th Street. It's going to pass Central Avenue that goes north and eventually becomes JJ. It should stay just south of Carl Junction on its path, and then it would track it very close to Fur Road, just south of Fur Road, just south of Briar Brook, and then right in near the airport. That would be the current track at this time. It has turned a little bit more easterly, so we're going to go with more of a kind of an northeasterly track. But this has been on the ground. This has been on the ground for quite some time. We haven't been able to get any damage reports in here, but we know it's been on the ground. We know it's been tearing stuff up. We just don't know exactly where the damage is. But this is a dangerous situation. This is the biggest tornado we've had in the Joplin Metro since 8 years ago today. So this is something we want to watch. Obviously, we had the Baxter tornado, I think 3 or 4 years ago, which also did damage. So this is kind of a higher quality tornado, which is going to be doing damage as it works through. So this is not a guy you want to mess around with by any means. So again, we're still getting that rotation. It's right on top of Galena. We have tons of storm chasers on this. We have visual of it. It's on the ground. and continuing to push off toward the east, northeast. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. I need to see what other warnings we have across the region. I know all these severe thunderstorm warnings kind of just get blown over, but you can see all of them across Labette, Neosho stretching up Bourbon, parts of Vernon County. We need to really watch this guy as he moves into the area. He is now probably 10-15 miles southwest of Grand Lake. Still have the tornado warning in parts of Vernon County. Last time I looked at that, that looked to be a little bit weaker. We're going to zoom into him briefly, and we're going to go right back down into Joplin. But yeah, still rotation right in here. It looks like it has tried to regenerate just a little bit south of Nevada. What do you got?
In fact, on that one, last time we checked in with Vernon County storm spotters, they did have a possible funnel, but it receded back up. Still trying to rotate, though.
Yeah,
There's nothing on the ground right now.
It's recycling. So this was also a large tornado on the ground as it passed the state line of Kansas and then also Missouri. So now it's kind of in that recycle mode. It still wants to drop tornadoes. It's just got to kind of regenerate to do it. All right, so we're going to leave him be for now.
Yeah.
We're going to go drop back south.
And I got to say, I'm looking at the chats. I'm seeing Joplin sounding the sirens, Carthage sounding the sirens,
they better be.
Webb City, Brooklyn Heights, Avila. Every community in Southwest County, if anybody's outside, because that's how the sirens work best if you hear them outside, they are going off. Last check, it's still on the ground. We can't emphasize this enough. You need to be in your safe place right now in the Joplin Metro.
Yeah, this is right on top of Galena. So we have a tornado right on Galena, or maybe a mile north of Galena, but this baby is on the ground, and it's obviously doing damage as it continues to roll east. Now pushing very shortly here, it's going to be pushing across the state line of Kansas and Missouri. So this is riding right along Old Route 66 or 7th Street, depending on how you know it. So very close to the state line now. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to pull out the velocity on it, and we're going to look and see how strong this guy is. Still very good rotation within it as it continues to roll east. But again, we have a lot of spotters on this. This has been on the ground for quite some time. I think it's probably produced several tornadoes.
Yeah, on and off since they came out of Craig and Ottawa County.
Yeah, and you can see where the green and the red meet up. This is right on top of Galena. So this is a tornado on the ground, Galena, Kansas, almost to the state line of Missouri, continuing to track in into the west side of the metro. So this is not something you want to mess with. See the debris signature?
Yeah.
I mean, that means it is tearing stuff up. So when you see this ball, what that is showing, that is the radar picking up the debris. So houses, trees, sheet metal. That is why this little ball is popping up. So that is definitely very intense signature. You don't want to mess around with it, in fact.
Yeah, just more confirmation that tornado is around Galena, if not on the very western side of Galena.
Yeah, it's right on Galena. I mean, I would say a few blocks north of 7th Street, but there's that signature. So again, it's now past Riverton.